from the subcontractor proposal into our checklist and then just sending that out to Nate Colarusso in legal and Robert in purchasing. So once we draft everything, Robert will issue the PO and then Nate Colarusso will go ahead and issue the contract. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So here I have a quote up from SDB, and this is for some scanning and core drilling over at OC10. I am going to start by going into the project folder. I'm going to go under subcontractors, which is item number 11. And here is all of the subcontractors that we've released so far. So we have WME, ISG, Bricon. I'm going to go ahead and start another folder for SDB. And I'm going to go ahead and move over copy of the quote. And the other thing we'll find in the subcontractors folder is the subcontractor checklist. So we have the base checklist for a subcontract that we have not started yet. And we also have a change order. So let's say, for example, this ISG subcontract that we sent out. We went ahead, or let's say we have a change order from ISG that we need to issue against it. We're going to use this change order checklist to issue a change order against the existing PO, if that makes sense. So since I had to create a new folder for SDB, I'm going to use this base subcontract checklist since we don't have an open contract with them on this project yet. So I am just going to have the vendor quote and the checklist open side by side. So this is going to be for project number IPZ 2501. Project name, you can get that off the open project folder title. So this is for OC10 EXVO and location. So this is going to be in Chandler, Arizona. So city and state it's in. The owner, it's always going to be Intel when we're on campus. General contractor, so we're contracted under Skanska for this one. And our point of contact for this, I'm going to go ahead and put on site, we're going to put our general foreman or our foreman. I'm going to put Gustavo as our on-site contact, and our off-site is going to be our PM. I'm just going to put Paul Franklin in here for now. So our sub on-site, so I'm going to look at the proposal and I'm going to see who actually issued it. It looks like it was Antonio. So he might be our estimator and our in-office contact. It looks like he is the superintendent. I'm going to go ahead and list him as our on-site contact. Last name, Salazar. And then offsite. I'm not sure who these other two contacts are. If you're unsure of who's in the office, you can go ahead and just put the contact for onsite as your offsite as well. So here, they just walked. So they walked the area, said, hey, I need a core drill and scanning in this section. And they went ahead and identified the building and approximate location, height at which it's being scanned and cored. So no specs, no drawings, no schedule, no substantial completion date. There's going to be no bond required. And looking at this proposal, it's at $4,800. I don't anticipate it going over more than $75,000. So I'm going to hit no there. So coming down here, I'm going to go ahead and start entering in and filling in the blanks. So SDB contracting services. We're going to want to try and put the company's full legal name here if we have it. Shall provide all materials, labor, tools, equipment, supervision, mobilizations, per diem, lifts, scaffold, ladders, insurance, taxes, freight, consumables, incidentals, and all other services necessary to complete all scanning and core drilling. So a brief description of what work they're going to be performing, whether it's telecom or life safety systems. You'll enter that in here. So core scanning and core drilling work for the OC10 EXVO fans project and then we're going to put in the facility name, which is Ocotillo facility in Chandler, Arizona. So whether it's the Chandler campus or the Ocotillo campus, we're going to want to change that. City and state go here. Continues on, all work shall be performed in accordance with plan specifications, drawings, and bid documents, including without limitation to SDB quote. Put in their terminology. Proposal number 23-07-003. So I'm using their proposal number here. If we have a vendor that gave us a quote, let's say via email, which was informal, we can still use that to issue a subcontract against, or if they don't use bid or proposal numbers, we can just put without limitation to IES quote dated, and we can use the date that they provided us that pricing with. So that's another alternative for this area here if you don't have that information. So now I'm just going to start entering in the specifics of the scope that we're contracting them to do. So it looks like they did a pretty good job at outlining the scope of work here. So I'm literally just going to copy and paste, go through and just clean it up. Looks like they did have a couple typos. City will be pleased to provide the following services. So they are responsible for getting a SIP, ground penetrating radar scans, and a deinstall permit, so those cut permits. So they're doing quantity 1 and 1/14 inch cores through CMU wall and penetrate through sheetrock from inside the building of OC10 column AC 16.5 at 14 feet high. Sealant will be applied per code and Intel spec. So they are doing fire stopping and seals. So we are laying out the cores. So we're telling them where we actually need this scanned and drilled. We will provide them with a lift. That's not a problem. And this is based off of a walk with Gustavo. So now we're going to go down here into their clarifications. So price. The bid date was 1/6/2023. You can look at that attachment. Put this in here under price since tax. It's price related. This proposal is based on plans and specs only. I'm going to leave that out because that contradicts what was identified in the scope. I think these are just basic clarifications that they add in, but this is not based off of plans or specs. It was based off of a walk with Gustavo, which our install was based on plans and specs, but their work isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that off. And if you ever have any questions about that, you can reach out to either me, the project manager, or the field, just to make sure, hey, was this based off of the prints or was it actually based on the walk? So little things like that. So this one looks like it is based on schedule. Expediting material not included. We'll put that in clarifications. And BIM modeling, I'm not sure why that's in there, whether it's included or not included. We're going to assume that's not included, but I'm going to leave that off. It's unclear as to what they're specifying. And then it looks like on attachment A, they're outlining all of their exclusions. I'm just going to come down here. Pull all of these items that they're saying are excluded. The engineered drawings, that makes me believe that BIM is excluded. Moves overtime. Then that little thing comes up and then you put the back and we're supplying the lifts. So that is the end of that document. So I'm just going to go through, make sure my job number is correct. All of my fill in the blanks up here align. Whoever we put in here for the subcontract information is who Nate Colarusso is going to send this out to. So we'll just want to follow up with SDB and make sure that they are executing the contract on their side. If we don't see that back within a day or two, make sure that all of my fill in the blanks here are filled out. Proposal number is accurate. And then my scope of work and all of my exclusions are filled out. So I'm going to save this under a new subcontractor folder, and I'm just going to put the job number, the subcontractor that we are issuing this against, and hit save. Okay. And then the very last thing that I do is send this to Nate C, who issues the contract. We're going to put on purchasing, so buy one at qpsisbest.com. And then we'll just put on any additional folks that need to know that they've been released. So Gustavo will need to know, Nathan will need to know. I will go ahead and title this same thing as my checklist. And what they need is that checklist that we just filled out. And then they also need a copy of the proposal so that they have the dollar amounts, can check it against the checklist that we just put together. And they really don't need anything in the body of the email. And then you'll send that off. So once you send that off, what will happen is they will, Nate Colarusso will send you a copy of the subcontract once it's been executed with an email that says something like this, like good to commit. So contract's been executed. This is what it'll look like. This is the PO number that was issued against it. We have signatures down here from our owner and then our subcontractor's signer. This, once I get a copy of this, I'll put it in the subcontractor folder. So in subcontractors, this was for ISG. You can see there's a copy of the subcontract in there. So in case we need to issue a change order against it, we now have a copy of the executed contract so that we can reference the PO number that we're issuing a change order against. So it's pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of fill in the blank, putting all the information from the quote into its appropriate buckets here before sending it off to purchasing and our legal team. So does anybody have any questions on this?
Nope, I don't think so.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. So the next ones that come in, I'll try and send one out to each of you. We really haven't had a lot coming in lately as far as subcontracts go, but I know I just sent one out to IES to quote us on some telecom work. So once we have that back and the cost and pricing aligns with our proposal, I'll probably send one out to you. Sasha, have you put one of these together before?
No.
Okay, so I'll send it to you to practice on. Michael, I know that we'll have a few coming up. I know Eagle will have some down the road, but there should be some on some of our open projects I can have you practice on as well. And then Gabrielle, I'll just have her review this video and then I'll send her some to try and then just reference this video. It's pretty straightforward and easy, but I know there's going to be some questions on what information goes under what header on the subcontract checklist. It just happens. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. But other than that, I'll send these over as soon as I get some for you to practice on.
Sounds good. Thanks, Megan.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a good
Have a good
day.
day. Bye.
Have a good day.